way that he was talking about. First, I would like to thank Ellie Talk for the invitation and the opportunity for me to be here. I'm not sure that I will call myself successful to be sharing the same stage with Bao and Jimmy, but I'll do my best. I mean, I don't have a speaker note or anything. I put some slides just to make sure that I have some structure to follow. But I'm going to talk about me as to a little bit about myself, the family background, how I started my career in Vietnam, what took me to Melbourne, to Australia, and what had actually made me who I am today. Kind of like going to share with you also a bit about what action I took over the years. Hope that you're gonna leave today with something that you can take with you, and when you face a challenge in the future, think about the challenge that the people in the room, and including me, that we have gone through and make who we are today. I am the Group Finance Director at SIG. My role covers two aspects. One is the sexy bit and one is the boring bit. The sexy bit is on the investment side, so I'm the finance person and I sit with the deal team, and we go through merger, acquisition, divestments and all the like. So I have a lot of kind of opportunity to work on acquisition, especially international acquisition. The non-sexy bit is more on the compliance side, external reporting, consolidation, and those kind of like accounting nature. I also sit on the advisory board of Deakin University, Department of Finance, and we meet a few times a year to talk about direction and where, like what matter to students and how to actually make the link from university to the industry. I also decided about half a year ago to go back to school, so I'm also a student myself. I'm doing the executive MBA with Melbourne Business School. Once a month we go back to school. We stay there for 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We kind of eat there, sleep there, study there. It's hard. Most of the time when I do my study, I do it around midnight because the work is challenging, families is challenging and all the like. So if you find it hard, I find it hard too. And if I can do it, you can do it. That's a bit about myself. Can we make it to the next slide, please? Oh, also to say, Janet, the committee has, okay, I'll go have, but don't call me back. I'm not that old. Just put it out there. Some people call me back and I get offended a little bit. So, a bit about myself. My house is where I grew up, and I will get a bit emotional about that. A very poor village. It is like 30 kilometers from the nearest town. And I live with my mom and my grandma and my younger brother. He is 6-ish years younger than me, so I was like his mom because my mom actually went to work on the field. My dad left the family when my mom was pregnant with me to go to Saigon. So I grew up, we reunited after that, but I grew up without a dad for the first 10 years of my life. And it was hard, but what came to me, or what taught me in those early years was that life is pretty simple, right? You can have a lot of things, like I went back to the village last June, and I wouldn't call myself any happier than people believe that. Because happiness doesn't come a lot from what we have. Of course I see the world more than they see, but they are as happy as I am when I had the opportunity to go back. My childhood was very simple, very rich, because we were so close to nature. what stayed with me until where I am today is the caring bit, because I care for my little brother. I have to be caring about him. I was like his second mom. But also the other thing that kind of made me who I am and my attitude for life is that you've got to give something to have something back. There's nothing in the world this is for free. So just an example of that one, that was me and my younger brother when I was about 6 years old. So we grew veggie and we raised chicken. We didn't have any fish or pork or anything else. For us to actually get some fish or something else to eat, we had to pick the best veggie for my grandma to take to the market and sell that. And of course, the the prettiest ones are for sale and the ugly one are for us to use or to consume. So that actually to say, sometimes you actually have to give your best to get something back in return. That's there with me today. I truly believe that there's like, to be successful as well, you have to put efforts in there and then you have to kind of give to take something back. I moved to my family, my mom and my brothers and me. We moved to Saigon when I was 10 years old, and still very poor. We didn't have much. I mean, one of the things that I wanted to do and I was able to do was I wanted to. So I got to university for the first year, just enough mark to get in. But I told myself, I was like, the university fees was pretty much a lot for my mom and dad to actually cover. So promised myself that I would get somehow a scholarship to leave that burden from them. A lot of study, but it paid back. So for my whole 4 years at university, I was able to get a scholarship, and my mom and dad didn't have to pay for that one. So that was the what me doing a bit to actually give back or pay back to my parents. I started then I moved to, I talk a bit about my career in Vietnam, but I moved to Melbourne in 2001, so it's been mostly 17 years. I'm married with 2 boys. The one at the bottom is Felix, who's 8, and Keenan is 10. My husband works full time as well. We don't have any parents in here, so every day is kind of a balancing act. Some day I get it right, some day I don't. Some week I get it right, some week I don't. So it's forever a guilty feeling. I mean, I've learned to live with it and just part of life. So the next bit I want to share about my career in Vietnam. I did well at school, and so academic out result is very important. I got my first job without even an interview. So I came to school, I talked to the head of accounting department, and I wanted to take the best student. So I graduated with HD. I just got the job there, and after half an hour interview, I got the job. So I jumped on the first opportunity. Not long after that, I recognized that it was not the right opportunity for me, and with all due respect to the people who love debit and credit, in my early year, I struggled that, especially when I did the bookkeeping job. It was even a cash bookkeeping, not even accruals. And 4 or 5 months now, I was like, this is not me. I wanted to do something else. This is not me. But also at the same time, I knew that, so I went to English for like evening classes and all the like. So when I started working, my English was okay, but speaking was not good, because we didn't have a lot of opportunity to actually practice or talking to foreigners. So I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that debit and credit and cash accounting was not for me. Secondly, I knew I had to improve English in terms of speaking. What did I do? I applied for a job as a personal assistant to a foreigner, because that was the best thing to practice, to force me to actually speak English, because I had nowhere else to do. So there you go, I got the job, and I knew that it was only a temporary job for me to get back to something else. But I would give myself a year or two to practice speaking English. Um, the but I gave it my best in that 1 year working with. But there's no way I'm learning English better than that opportunity. My boss, I think he's got a farm in Geelong, and he's like really strong Aussie accent. I struggled for the first month or so to understand what he was talking about. But then that also teach me the communication as to I took a lot of phone calls from people from overseas, and then went with him into meeting with like important high up there people. So it actually teach me the confidence, the how to carry myself and the like. Then after that, I decided. So after a year or so, I thought my English was okay. Then I took the decision to go back to my mainstream professional. That was why I started my career with Pricewaterhouse. It was Big Six back then, not even Big Four. So I knew that PwC for me when I got back, it was hard. It was hard. We work like long hours, Saturdays, sometimes Sundays, and all that. But I found myself enjoying what I was doing, and I knew that it was for me. So that kind of, if I actually take a step back onto my childhood and my career in Vietnam, there's probably three things in there that resonate with me the most as an adult today. Is caring for you and for your team and for other people gonna take you a long way. Secondly, don't get stuck in your job. If you feel like you get stuck in your job, do something about it. Because if you don't do something about it, you're gonna get stuck in there. You can't change it if you don't make a move. And the third thing to me is like, well, be brave and take risk. Like I took risk to actually leave the job as a bookkeeper. Not that it was a lot, but at least it was accounting to be a PA. I don't know why my mom and dad didn't stop me, and I thank them for that. And then when you feel like you found something, give it your best. So that was my so far okay. Like anyone sleeping yet? Then I move on to my career in Australia. The first 6 months, my God, it was hard, so hard, much harder than I expected. Because I was in Vietnam, so they started that international secondment where they send the best overseas to train them and take them back and develop the practice in the home office. So I was somebody in Vietnam, and I came to Australia. Of course, I was nobody, like less than nobody. I discounted myself so much. My English was not good enough. I didn't know enough about things, how things was in Australia, for the first maybe 2 or 3 months, I just went to work, got back by myself in my department, eating dinner, not like, it was like, I almost mostly gave up. Because I was, what the hell am I doing here? I've got no idea where's the next step's gonna be. I've got no idea how to get my confidence back. Then I was like, but I can't let my people down. And my people means the people who supported me to go to Australia is my parents, my friends, and all the like. And I was like, I'm better than that. I can actually get over this. And you know what I did? I started quite small because I think feeling lonely is where it hit me the most because I didn't have a lot of friends. Then luckily that I had, so when like as auditors, you go out to the clients for the audit team. So I started there. I started to actually go out with the audit team during lunchtime to eat lunch with them. Because it's very easy to actually bring lunch, sit on your desk, and eat your lunch by yourself. But that was lonely. So I actually like, I make an effort to join them for lunch. I make an effort to actually join them for coffee. I did not drink coffee when I came to Australia. It's just start with small things like that. You just have to mingle and be part of a team. Then I knew I was good for my work perspective, so I gave it 200% pretty much. Anything I did, I make sure that I cover and I did my best. Then I got through that first years, okay. Then the promotion to manager actually gave me a lot of confidence back. So after a year in Australia, I got that one, and it's kind of like um, I could make it work. Then 2 years later, when I got up to senior manager, another kind of hurdle comes. So for the partners who work with me, who support me to go up to senior manager, not a problem. But the other half of the partner who did not work with me was like, so the question they asked the other partners is, you supported her to get to senior manager because she deserved it, or for the fact that you didn't expect a lot of her for the fact that she came from Vietnam? Hurt like hell. It hurt my pride the most to hear that. And then I got up, and I got enough support in the partner who worked with me to say, Janet, just to let you know that's the feedback we've got. But also our feedback for you is the 50% of the partner who said that was because they didn't know you. They didn't work with you, they didn't know you, they didn't know who you were. I was happy to get the promotion, but I was bitter about it because I was like, how could they say that about me? And I tried to actually, first thing I wanted to prove them wrong. I wanted to prove to the partner who said that I was wrong, that I deserve it. After a few tries, I found it hard. Found it hard because they didn't know me. It just like to prove something to people who don't know you is mostly impossible. So at some stage, I don't know how I did it, but I switched my mindset as to I'm gonna prove to the partner who supported my promotion that they were right. That they were right and that I deserve it. Much easier. Because you switch from a kind of negative starting point to a positive starting point. Then also at the same time, the other feedback I got was that I was a little bit quiet. Like 10 years ago, standing in front of you would have killed me. Would have killed me. I would be so nervous that I wouldn't know what to do. But and a lot of I've got quite a few staff who are also Asian backgrounds as well. We are labeled as quiet achievers. Like we just sit at our desk, mashing things around, getting things done. A lot of us, not all, but that's like the stereotype kind of thing. And I was once a quiet person, and you know what? I got to learn to adapt. Like being quiet is nothing wrong with it, but most of the time people don't know who you are. So I forced myself to talk more, and up to a point where you just drop me in a lift and I can start a conversation. Not a problem nowadays, but it takes a lot of years, 15-ish. Then another hurdle comes, which is like the first, I would say, biggest failure in my career, where it was a directorship interview. I thought it was just an internal process, so I didn't take it very seriously. But the partnership took it very seriously. It was a combination of me not taking the whole process. It was a lot of rounds of interviews and a lot of preparation, but also at the same time, the GFC hit that was back in 2008. So I didn't get that, and I actually I blame myself for that partially because I didn't take it seriously enough and didn't prepare enough. But one of the mistakes I did, and maybe we all do that, is we talk very fast. Like I equal talking fast to influence, to like fluent. So I talk too fast and I didn't pause enough and put enough weight in the way I talk. So I had to go with a tutor for about 3 months, and that's why like you probably understand me better now than 15 or so years ago. So then I went on and had my boys, pregnancies and maternity leave and all that. So in about 2011, my husband George Scott moved back to Melbourne, and I was facing with a decision whether to go back with PwC or to go out. I was like, you know what? I still enjoy PwC back then, but I took the opportunity to try something else. So I resigned from PwC without a job. So as that brings me to the end of my mini presentation. Thank you for listening.